Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophia, Pilot into the Universe of Chinese, and today we're going to continue with our 3-character contemporary Chinese expressions. And today we're going to talk about the 同性恋, which is not like the pride movement throughout the world, right? Was celebrated, but not in China. So 同性恋 was kind of still underground, just like religion was not celebrated, was not out in the open. Everybody is closet. So 同性恋, even if in China, like I came across, like in my life, I came across one guy who likes guys, and that made him just enough, made him kind of marginalized. He was laughed at. He was not treated nicely, like not treated equal. Like people feel he's weird, things like that. So that's my experience. The society, at least back then, 20 years ago in China, was not open-minded at all about sexual orientation. It's very judging. It's very difficult to be, probably still today as well, to be 同性恋, which means homosexual, means same-sex romance. You are into your same gender beings. So, okay. 同 means the same. It came from this big arch thing that means a space. And then we have this one horizontal line that means one, means unifying or singular. And then we have the mouth symbol, means one voice. Meaning within a certain space, there's only singular voice or one voice, one opinion, one perspective, one position. It's everybody, even if there may be multiple brains, multiple people, multiple head counts, they came as one. That's how Chinese express 同. That means everything aligned. There is no second voice there. Okay, 性, okay, sex. We have heart symbol on the left side. Chinese depict heart as a chamber. And then with a tube comes in, a tube goes out, and the third tube to supply blood to the heart itself. So this simple anatomy of heart, it was captured in this way. I think it's elegant, it's probably sufficient enough. And the right side is 生. I have a whole month dedicated to this character because it's about the life. Life was expressed by 2 horizontal lines with 1 vertical line, and this almost, you can view it as candle looking thing, or is this trident shape is oftentimes the plant symbol, because plants are sun facing, right? They grow anti-gravity, upward facing, and the plant growing underground. So this ground, first horizontal line on the top is that ground level. And then we have the plant above the ground and its root underground. And the second horizontal line means the indicator to mean this is something still have the root in under the ground. So this indicator gives you a sense of it's still a life living. It's still a plant rooted. It's still something with its life going. It's still changing, still growing, right? Okay, so this heart plus life symbol, how do they become sex, right? Okay. Originally, this character, life, heart combination in Chinese actually means the nature, the human nature. Like we recognize ourselves as, a life form, right? It's a life. But we also have our emotional side, our fickle side of being. Like it's hard to program or hard to control, like how hard it is to control another person. That maybe in some contexts is easy, but this telling of, because we have a heart, therefore it makes us human, therefore it makes us either stronger or weaker, or a monster or a saint. It's all dimensional possibility because we have this heart plus plus life. So we are a life with conscience or with intelligence. You can embed a lot of meaning of human stuff into this heart symbol. So in the beginning, this character, this life plus heart, means the nature of human being. The most famous saying in Chinese is 食色性也. Okay, it doesn't mean food or eating. 色 means color or aesthetics or pleasure. Okay, 性, it doesn't mean sex. Okay, it means human nature. So two most important things in life for you to enjoy this life is food. You see, culturally, Chinese really, really emphasize food. It's the number one thing. And then 色 is pleasure, it's seeing colors, right? Seeing the variety of colors. And that's regarded the secondary. And then 性也 means that's the nature. I'm telling you, this is the two essential things. Okay, so that's Chinese ancient expression. And in that sentence, this 性 doesn't mean sex. It means nature of humanity. Okay, now eventually, I guess, sex becomes sexy enough, becomes forefront of humans' consciousness about how humans operate. And then they take over food, they jump into the number one thing, take over human nature. So from human nature, this particular human nature, sex orientation or sex drive, then become the, take over the original meaning of human nature. It becomes specified into sex in particular. Okay, so that's Chinese expression of sex. Same sex, okay, clear enough. That's the same, I guess that's the homo, right? And sex is sexual. And the Chinese add 恋 over there to make it explicit, to mean this is a romance or relationship occur between the same sex. So this romance, okay. Chinese as culturally, I guess romance as a concept of human interracial or this romantic feeling was a Western concept. But in Chinese, when this Western concept of 恋, of this romance got imported, because Chinese society was this arranged marriage thing. You marry into your social status stratosphere for most of the time, because Chinese matchmaking emphasized the equality of both households. At least that's the husband and wife scenario. So they are equally coming similar background. That's the matchmaking criteria. If this man become resourceful, rich, can afford multiple wives, then there's one that's equal to him, and the rest of the women are mistresses, but legalized and societally acceptable women, kind of owned or belong to the same household. That's a different story. So I guess the ancient interpersonal relationship in China is mostly arranged. You don't really make your choice. And also single girls, they have very little exhibit time to interact with the outside world. There were no such thing as social dance in China, okay? There's no such allowed setting for a young man and woman to intermingle, to dance. I mean, dance is a pretty close-up view, kind of bubble bursting moment of you're getting too close to each other. Chinese doesn't have that. The only time, as far as I know, is when they have a kind of a public, like a fair, like a farmer's market sort of thing, right? Except it's a pretty elaborated, if it's several times a year. In that event, both young men and women will go there to, buy stuff. In a marketplace setting, then they may meet singles, may mingle, meet, but they probably won't be able to talk. They still have to, like the man, if the boy is into the girl and they kind of look at each other, mutually interested, at least in that brief moment of signal sending exchange. And then the boy would ask a matchmaker, of course, paid service matchmaker, to go to the girl's household to, start this process of very formalized and governed by the parents. The parents is the gatekeeper. They can say yes or no to that. So, romance as we know it in contemporary society didn't really work in China, the old way China's operating. So this Lian, then somebody have to come up with this concept to match up to this Western concept of romance. It's made of two textile or thread icons. So, okay, ancient times, cottage industry, every household make their own clothing. So the woman of the house have to learn how to do the whole processing of from the cotton or flax to make it into linen, right? So the whole process of making yarns, weave them into fabric, and then cut and sew. I'm not sure if it's cut and sew, actually, mostly wrapping and tying in a certain way. So this whole processing of, cottage industry of clothing your whole family, your whole household fall on women. And I guess this was everyday practice, and therefore it's in the language naturally of this two spools of thread in connection, and then the result is made into fabric. So this downward facing trident thing then become this drapey image of the textile. That's to finish the product. That's the end goal. You want to make it into a drapey fabric. So that's what this very end is. And then the two circles connected by the line means the spools of thread. Because I had a little bit of a textile education, so this thread, the longer the thread, the better, at least in terms of how it will feel against your skin. Silk was, was a trade secret for so long, right? Chinese was able to make a ton of money back then by selling silk stuff before the Western world knows how to make silk. But the silk was so luxurious and expensive because it's a long fiber. It's a continuous long string of fiber that can make into this long yarn. And therefore, on the skin, it feels silky. It's slippery. It's not rough. It doesn't have cutting intersection, like a cross section of the very end of the thread, right? So therefore, keeping the thread continuously going is important. Long fiber was preferred. I'm not sure about contemporary, like we're all happy with t-shirts, right? But back then, probably luxury or social status also connected with how luxurious your fabric on your body is, right? So this long thread thing connected on the spools, then expressed in this icon. So besides the whole thing means something related to fabric, to textile, it also gives you the sense of it's a continuous thread. Okay, in the middle here, it means speaking symbol. And the bottom is female symbol. And okay, so speaking and the female, I guess romance by definition have to happen. I mean, the target of the romance mostly female, right? If at least the ancient standards from men's perspective, we have to keep in mind that ancient times, the language users, scholars, language, whoever read, write, mostly men. So it's mostly man's perspective looking at the world, and the target of the target of the interest of romance, mostly women. So woman symbol at the end, we understand that. And then this long thread thing on each side with speaking in the middle. So here is up for interpretation. If you're after some girl in the historical context of Chinese, right, society, that you want to be engaging with that girl in conversation, this continuous thread of conversation. And this thread thing eventually means attachment or entanglement. Like you are, at least here verbally, like by speaking, you're intertwined with that person. You have a lot of things to talk, I guess. That's the visual direct interpretation of that. So that plus the target of your interest together forms what romance is about in a Chinese societal context. It's the woman that you want to have entanglement and talk with a lot. Okay, that's romance. So 同性恋 means homosexual, and that's Chinese expression. And I guess 同性恋 homosexual, because when I'm searching for homosexual on Unsplash, I mean, give them credit of the site that I can find pictures that I can use from, topical images that when I put in homosexual, most times it's man and man homosexual, not so much woman woman. So I don't know exactly like a proportional in the population if man to man homosexual is more prevalent than woman to woman, or if woman to woman doesn't look as alarming to society. Even today, we're still judging, right? So heterosexual is still the majority of the population. So when it comes to homosexual, if man to man to man, another like heterosexual man, like this is more threatening than homosexual between woman to woman. We don't know, but on our website, when I search homosexual, man-to-man image, all right, that's my tiny social commentary over there. That's 同性恋, cashing into the currency of thinking about one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.